Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let go and earn more pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Mike, hold on. That we not finna do that once again. Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning into Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter, Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk and Big Sarge Media page on YouTube. Also, follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. What's up, TikTok family? All right. Woof. Let me tell y'all something. I just got off of a podcast with Chancellor Johnson, DJ BNMA, and Jonathan M. Alexander. If you're not familiar with it, it's called the Texans Cookout. This episode right here that's about to drop here pretty soon, goodness gracious alive. Y'all have got to y'all got to listen to that one. Y'all have got to watch that one because it was a good one. And if anybody knows anything about DJ and I and my history with each other as far as conversations goes, you're not going to want to miss this one. You're not going to want to miss that one. So make sure you go to Texas Cookout on YouTube, subscribe, leave comments, let us know what y'all think about the show. Go back and look at some of the older shows, especially ones where Sarge said after they went 0-3 that they still would make the playoffs. Who said that? Who said that? I know there was somebody on that show, on that Texas Cookout show, that said that the Houston Texans would make the playoffs. Oh yeah, that was me. So y'all go back and y'all look at some of those older shows. All right. So on Monday night, the Houston Rockets lost to the Denver Nuggets by a score of 128-125 in overtime. And there's a lot to unpack from that game. There's you look at what okay, sorry, don't bury the lead. The officiating was terrible. And I'm not saying that it was one-sided either. I'm not saying that the officiating was terrible for the Rockets. I'm not saying the officiating was terrible for the Nuggets. I'm not saying that it's one-sided. I'm saying that the officiating was terrible on both ends of the floor for the Rockets and for the Nuggets. That game was poorly officiated. And let me say this, right? Let me say this, right? So if you follow me on what's up, Senior Boblé, if you follow me on social media, you know I do this thing called Hear Me Out, right? So hear me out. Dear NBA, you're losing your viewership, you're losing your fandom, and you're losing it very, very quickly to the NFL. For some time now, for over the years, like the NFL has been very popular, right? But the NBA always found a way to be able to keep themselves in the, in the conversation. Especially when you got players like LeBron, You got KD, you got Steph Curry, now you got Anthony Edwards. When you're looking at those players, you got Giannis, you got Jokic, like you got Jalen Brown. You got players that has kept Luca. You got players that has kept the NBA afloat for a second, right? But a lot of those players are getting older. LeBron's getting older. He's going to retire here soon. What's going on, Queena? What's up, J Rock? LeBron is going to retire here soon. You have Kevin Durant, for as effective as he is, he's still getting older. Steph Curry, even though he's still playing at a very efficient level, but he's still getting older. And the NBA has to wait for a lot of these other stars to develop. You got to wait for Wemby to develop. You got to wait for a Cooper Flag to develop. You have to wait for other stars to take over the league. We know that Anthony Edwards is right there and he's about to take over the league. And so you have to, you're still competing with the NFL and its viewership. And let me tell you how the NFL doesn't respect the NBA. For the longest time, there was not an NFL game on Christmas unless it fell on a Sunday. Maybe a Saturday, but definitely if it fell on a Sunday, of course there was going to be Christmas games. Christmas Day was always reserved for who and for what? For the NBA, right? And they had a stronghold on that day. Well, over the last couple of years, the NFL has been telling the NBA, hey, y'all got to prove it to us. Prove it to us that you can keep this day. Prove it to us that you can control this day. Because Christmas falls on a Thursday this year. And they got some outstanding games going on in the NBA. I will be at one when the Rockets take on the Lakers in LA. So you got Kevin Durant, you got Şengün, you got Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr. going up against, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves. Like, it's going to be a very, very good game. But by the same token, the NFL got games going on that day too. And they're going to, even their bad games are going. Like, I think you got like the Cowboys and the Commanders, if I'm not mistaken. I think that Minnesota and somebody plays. I think it may be Minnesota and the Lions, and then you got like I forgot who Denver plays, but they're not the creme de la creme games. They're not the marquee matchups like when you watched the Buffalo Bills play the New England Patriots this past week, or it isn't like this week coming up with the Denver Broncos versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both of them lead their division. Like, it isn't those type of games, but it's NFL football. And so you're going to go up against that with your marquee games against the NFL, and the NFL is still going to win. You did this to yourself. And I will get back to that bad officiated game between the Rockets and the Nuggets last night, but you did this to yourself, right? And one of the biggest ways that the NBA did it to themselves, like, let's just talk about OKC for a second. Well, since my little one now plays and is currently obsessed with basketball, who do we have to that's funny, Queena. But let me tell you how. So let me tell you how the NBA is losing to the NFL as far as viewership is going. And like I said, we'll get back to the officiating. Their best team is boring. You know who the Oklahoma City Thunder remind me of? And I like OKC. I think they're like, I was an OKC fan when they had KD, Russ, Harden, Thabo Sefolosha was there, Kendrick Perkins was there. They had some I can't think of oh my god, who's the powerful that they kept and let James Harden come to the Rockets. I can't even remember who that was, but I just seen him at the first game of the season in OKC versus the Rockets. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So OKC, right? OKC is a very, very good basketball team. From the top to the bottom, they have like a top 5 offense. They got like a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense once everything plays out. It may not look like that right now, but once everything plays out, and if I'm not mistaken, what are they like? 22-2, 24-2, whatever the case may be. I can look up the records, but chat, could you please do it for me? It's when you look at Oklahoma City, you know who they remind you of? And I'm going to name this team, and then you go back and you think of your most exciting moments with this team. The Oklahoma City Thunder, or the Oklahoma City Thunder, is the current version of the San Antonio Spurs. Serge Ibaka, thank you. That's why I couldn't remember J-Rock. But they are the current version of the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs was a very, very, very good team with Manu Ginobili, with Tim Duncan, with Tony Parker. Like, they had a very, very, very well fundamentally sound basketball team. They had Kawhi Leonard. I can't forget Kawhi Leonard. They had a very, very fundamentally sound championship style team that played well on both ends of the court. But when you're trying to sell viewership to fans, they don't give a damn about Tim Duncan shooting the ball off the backboard. They don't care about Tony Parker, getting to the lane, laying the ball up. They don't care about Manu Ginobili, shooting. They don't care about Kawhi Leonard being able to hit the mid-range jumper or being able to, be able to play the type of defense that he played that got him the name the Claw. Like, they don't care nothing about that. Like, fans want excitement, and especially in a social media era where everything gets clipped up. They want that type of excitement, so they can look at the clips on YouTube, so they can look at it on Twitter, so they can look at it on Instagram. They want to see, like, it doesn't matter how bad the Los Angeles Clippers are. James Harden is going to give you a highlight. Kawhi Leonard may give you a highlight. Like, there's somebody that's going to give you a highlight. There's some of these bad teams that are going to give you a highlight. Oklahoma City doesn't do that. What stands out for a lot of the fans in Oklahoma, what stands out for a lot of non-Oklahoma City Thunder fans is the fact that SGA gets all the calls. And when he gets all the calls, now you're saying to yourself, like, what are we doing here? Like, how is he getting that call? How is he getting that call? I think that SGA is a very, very, very good basketball player. And I don't fault him. I don't fault SGA for doing what he's doing. If the refs are going to call it, I'm going to keep doing it. If I'm him, I'm going to keep doing it until I'm going to make the refs adjust and not call it, then stop doing it because of public opinion. Hell no, we're not doing that. But OKC is boring. And that's the problem that the NBA has. They are boring. The type of engagement the NBA gets is different to the NFL. Exactly. You're right. But they don't get the type of it that you got a lot of NFL fans that are NBA fans. Let me just say this. There's a lot of Houston Texans fans that are Houston Rockets fans. And they watch the Rockets just as much as they watch the Rockets just as much as they watch the Texans. Because the Rockets are exciting. You never know what you're going to get from Amen Thompson. He can come down and dunk on somebody. Jabari last night had a big block on Jokic. KD. It's KD. You got Şengün, who is definitely taking that next level and that next step, right? Then you're watching Reed Shepherd come into his own, and after the All-Star break, you should see a different type of Reed Shepherd. But the NBA has a viewership problem when it comes to its fan base because their best team is boring. Hell, that's how it was with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis. Giannis is one of the best players on the team, and it's boring to watch. You know who is an exciting team to watch? An exciting team to watch is the Phoenix Suns. And especially when they get Jalen Green back healthy, like that's an exciting team to watch. And I keep mentioning exciting because that's what the viewership wants. You can take the worst NFL game, you can take a game between the Jets and the Browns and still compare it to the Lakers versus the Warriors. The Lakers versus the Warriors may beat them out, but not by much. They may not beat them out by much, but they're going to beat them out not by much because it's LeBron and because it's Curry. Tell me who's tuning in every night to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder outside of the people who live in OKC. No shot at Thunder. There's no shot at the Thunder fans. Who is watching that? Now, with that being said, when you got a great team in OKC, when you got a great player in SGA, but they're boring, and then you got bad officiating, now you've set yourself up in a position to be like, damn, we got to do something. Like you got to do something. And it brings me back to the game against the Rockets and the Nuggets on Monday night. The Rockets lost 128 to 125 in overtime. And there was a terrible call on Amen Thompson versus Tim Hardaway Jr., a play that should have been just the ref should have let play out. If anything, it was marginal contact. And I'm not saying that just because I covered the Houston Rockets. I'm saying that to say that in basketball terms, if that game was played at the park and that same play happened, you're not getting that call. If best, you're going to say shoot for it. He tripped me. I didn't trip you, bro. Your feet popped up into my shin. Or we got tangled up. But to call that foul in that moment is something that you just don't want to see. You want to see the game end by letting the players decide the game and not the officiating. And when you have bad officiating to go along with a bad product, you put yourself in a situation to say, what can we do more? Let me tell you this side note, that All-Star game is going to be horrible. That is like one of the worst ideas I've ever heard of. You know that the viewership for the NBA All-Star game has been going down year after year after year. The dunk contest, year after year, viewership going down. The three-point contest, the skills challenge, the rookie versus sophomore is probably one of the most exciting games. The celebrity game, it's more of now people are just, they're just doing it. The NBA, y'all got a problem. Y'all got an issue that y'all need to fix, and y'all need to fix it quick, because if not, you're going to keep losing viewership. You're going to keep losing some of the diehard fans. I'm going to be honest with you. Outside of, like, I watch the NBA only because it's my job. But if I didn't have to watch the NBA, I'm at a point in my life now where I don't watch the NBA like that, unless it's a game I want to watch. Shout out to my boy Cody Davis, who works for the Detroit News, that covers the Detroit Pistons. Right, the Pistons are exciting. The Pistons have a good team. I'll watch them. Right. But how many people you think are tuning in to Thursday night's game between the Rockets and the Pelicans? Hey, don't worry, I got time. You got a problem. And you're compounding the problem with the bad officiating. There's too many times you pop on social media and now you got to talk. They're talking more about the refs than they are about the game. If you're a Rockets fan and you go on your social media right now, go to Twitter. What's the first thing you're going to see? Ime talking about how bad the officiating was on Monday night, and then the second thing you're going to see is the Amen Thompson foul on Tim Hardaway Jr. replayed over and over and over again. If you're a Rockets fan, you're saying that was a bad call. If you're a Nuggets fan, you're saying that's a good call. But look at what we're talking about. We're talking about the call. We're not talking about the fact that Alperen Şengün had a triple-double. We're not talking about the fact that Nikola Jokic had a triple-double. We're not talking about the fact that Jamal Murray played one hell of a game. We're not talking about the fact that KD played one hell of a game. We're not talking about the fact of them trading buckets at the end of the game, going back and forth, each one of them hitting big buckets when they needed them. We're not talking about the game. We're talking about officiating. And if I'm Adam Silver, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, okay, all right, something's got to give. Because just 2 nights ago, one of the biggest things coming out of the game between the Lakers and the Suns was the officiating. Go back to 4 days ago, maybe 4 days ago. What's today? Today's Tuesday. So let's see, maybe 4 days ago on Saturday. What are we talking about from the cup game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs? We're not talking about the way that the Thunder played. We're not talking about the way Wemby played with the Spurs. We're talking about SGA getting a foul by kicking his legs out with the defender right there. Whatever Ron Harper's son name is. We're talking about him with his hand up and his feet right there, not even in SGA's landing zone, and he kicks out his feet and comes to the landing zone, and now they're going to the table and looking at it to see if it's a flagrant foul. We're not talking about how good of a game that was between the Thunder and the Spurs. We're talking about Alex Caruso complaining at the end of the game, saying that he got fouled. We're watching Alex Caruso beat up Wemby and no calls. When you're talking about the refs more than you're talking about the game, there is an issue and a problem, especially when you're not holding the refs accountable for what they're doing. You get one pool reporter. I know that you get 2 pool reporters, one from each team, to talk to the officials after the game. I have told you all this from the time I started doing radio shows covering the NBA, covering the NFL. I feel like the refs should have to come to the podium and answer questions from the media, just like the coaches have to do, just like the players have to do. They should be able to sit there and be held accountable for the way that they call the game, good or bad. Like, come to the podium. We have questions that we want to ask, right? We want to ask you questions about why you made this call. And you know why? Do you know why? Because after every NFL game, after every NBA game, after every MLB game, you know who has to come and talk to the media or they will get fined? Coaches. The coaches have to sit at that table and be held accountable for winning the game. For losing the game. Hey, man, why did you make that call? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why would you play this player, not that player? Why would you, like, when they lose the game, they still have to come and they have to sit there and be held accountable for their actions. Players have to come to the podium or be interviewed after the game and be held accountable for their actions in a loss. You know who doesn't have to be held accountable after a bad call? Officials. They don't. And whatever answer they give to the pool reporter, there isn't really any pushback, especially if you don't want to hear from the league. If you want to hear from the league, then give them some pushback. You want to hear from the league? Do what Ime Udoka, head coach of the Houston Rockets, did on Monday night. Came to the press conference and he told the truth. He said that was one of the worst officiating games he's ever been a part of. And he said that the crew chief was starstruck. Go back and look at the game. It is one of the worst officiating games that I've seen this entire season. But you know who's not going to be held accountable? Anybody from that crew. You know what they say? You know what they say when they hold them accountable? Oh, we're just not going to let them ref in playoff games. We're not going to let them ref in the NBA finals. That'll show them. We won't let them do it. Who the hell does that affect? Nobody but them in their pockets. Hell, if he's bad and you're disciplining him, then I wouldn't want his ass coaching. I mean, officiating either. I wouldn't want his ass officiating either. If we're looking at the officials and you say that I'm going to penalize this official by not allowing him to officiate in an NBA game, if I'm not going to be able, I mean, I'm sorry, in an NBA playoff game, or he's not going to be able to officiate in the NBA finals, then hell, you're not doing that ain't punishment. What does that do for the teams? Nothing. That means that you helped us not have a bad official. So I've said this before and I still believe this. They should hold these damn officials accountable as well. They should. I digress. Getting back to the game on Monday night between the Rockets and the Nuggets. The Rockets lost the game 128-125 in overtime. I'm going to tell you what I liked about that game. The Rockets lost, of course, right? But what I seen from that game and what I liked about the Rockets was they did not back down from the Nuggets. Even when the Nuggets started to try to bully them, they didn't back down. And that's why the title of this show is Rockets Don't Back Down to Anyone. They're not. They're not a team that you're just going to be able to push around. They're going to push back. And that's why you've seen the amount of technicals that they had. And I'm surprised that they didn't kick Ime out of the game on Monday night. I'm surprised that he didn't get kicked out because of that. But the Rockets ain't finna back down to nobody. They take on the same attitude as their head coach in Ime Udoka. And so they got down by double digits and came back. They were up on the Nuggets. And then I think that the net and a half, and then the Rockets got down, and then the Rockets came back. And in all actuality, I felt like the Rockets should have won that game. That's neither here nor there. They lost. And we talked about the officiating. And they've lost to the Nuggets two times this season. But what the Nuggets realize is that, hey, this is a team that is going to make some noise in the Western Conference. What's up, Amy Taylor? They're going to make some noise in the Western Conference. And that ain't something that I think that a lot of these teams are aware of. I know that they were 41-41 in Ime's first year. I know that they were second in the Western Conference last year. Then they added Kevin Durant. And so, of course, you know, with the adding a Hall of Fame, first ballot Naismith basketball Hall of Famer in Kevin Durant, of course, you're going to look at them. You're going to say, okay, they're going to be a better team, but you're not going to bully them. Like, you're not going to bully them. And, you know, at times Jokic was trying to bully. Brown was trying to bully. Murray was trying to bully. And I'm saying to myself, bro, y'all not finna not that set of Rockets. Like, you may have been able to bully a lot of the Rockets in the past, but you're not going to bully this set of Rockets. And you couldn't bully last year's Rockets, but this set of Rockets, nah. And so I just like the fact that the Rockets lost the game, but what I liked was they stayed together. They stayed poised for the most part. They overcame bad officiating, which the Nuggets did as well. I don't want to be no hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here just because I have on a Houston Rockets, because I got on a Houston Rockets hoodie. I'm not going to be no hypocrite. I'm going to say that it was bad officiating on both parts, and both teams suffered when it came to calls. Both teams suffered. I like what the Rockets are doing. I like what Alpi is doing. I did not like that last shot that he took. I felt like that should have been a shot that was taken by a better three-point shooter. Of course, you know that Kevin Durant, they're not going to let him touch the ball to shoot the three. But I do not like the fact that Alpi took that shot. sir. I do not like the fact that Alpi took that shot at the end of the game. I felt like there could have been a better play drawn up for maybe Reed Shepard, who had hit a big shot in that game. I felt like maybe Aaron Holiday, hell, even Jabari Smith Jr. But I did not like that play where Alpi, because Alpi hasn't established himself as a strong three-point shooter like Jokic. Like that play on the other end, if you run that for Jokic, then I'm all for it. Hey, look, that's cool. That's cool. But I just didn't like it. And so now the Houston Rockets will take on the New Orleans Pelicans on Thursday. I will be in New Orleans. My grandbabies will be at the game. And I cannot wait. Hold on for a second. Where is it? Okay. All right. I'm about to go to the break. When we come back, there's a team in the AFC South that I got to give their props to them right now. But I still don't believe.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on TikTok at the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. And follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. So I got to address something right here on TikTok. One of the people in the chat says the Rockets are such an overrated team. They have beat one playoff team the whole season. First of all, who's your team? Let's just get that out the way. Let's ask who your team is. Second, the Rockets are only playing who's on their schedule. And I think that if you go back and you look at some of these teams, these other teams that you feel are, better than the Rockets or more, are more rated higher. No, they are rated higher than the Rockets that you feel like are on the top tier. Let's go and look at their schedule. Matter of fact, y'all give me a second. Family Road Chick. Let me let me see something. La, because I like to do this from time to time. Maybe you ain't familiar with my game, but let me go ahead and let me see. Okay. This month. Hold on. Warriors. Jazz. Suns. Hold on, give me a second. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Pelicans. Clippers. Y'all give me a second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, Grizzlies. I hope you're still there, because I damn sure need to. Don't run now. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. Hornets. Got the Pelicans down there already. I do not. I do have them right there. Let's just use this. So 2, 4, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just picked 9 games. Just like the most recent 9 games. Like the most recent 9 games of the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Oh, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has a record of 24-2, right? So they've played the Golden State Warriors, who are 13 and 14. They've played the Dallas Mavericks, who are 10 and 17. They've played the Utah Jazz, who are 10 and 15. They've played the Suns, who are 14 and 12. They played the Pelicans, who are 5 and 22. They played the Clippers, who are 6 and 20. They played the Trailblazers, who are 10 and 16. They played the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 12 and 14. They played the Charlotte Hornets, who are 8 and 18. Last 2 months, I just picked 9 games, the most recent 9 games. Hold on. Don't worry. Let's just go back here. So, December the 2nd, they beat the Warriors. The Warriors are 13 and 14. They beat the Mavericks on December the 5th. They're 10 and 17. They beat the Jazz on December the 7th. They're 10 and 15. They beat the Suns on December 10th. They're 14 and 12, right? We know they just lost to the Spurs, right? At the end of the month, they played the Trailblazers, who were 10 and 16. 2 days prior to that, they played the Suns, 14 and 12. They played Trailblazers. They played the Timberwolves. What's the Timberwolves record? I'm sorry there, y'all, but I don't like when people come and try. The Timberwolves are 17 and 9, right? I'll give you that. Timberwolves are 17 and 9. Hold on. Right? Then they played the Trailblazers again, 10 and 16. The Jazz, 10 and 15. The Kings, know their record. The Pelicans, 5 and 22. The Hornets, 8 and 18. They played the Warriors again, the Grizzlies, and the Kings. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here, bro? Like, if you want to come on here to troll, that's cool. But something you need to know about me. Like, hey, we can go back and forth, right? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You can call the Rockets as overrated as you want. But I just gave you 9 out of the 24 wins that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, and they played the same team that the Rockets have played. Not only that, they've played these teams multiple times already. What are we doing here, dude? Like, get your weight up before you come on here. Get your weight up before you come on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. Now you got to get your weight up. Hey, go through a couple of more lives somewhere else before you think that you're going to come here. Don't be throwing rocks at the crown, my guy. That's not how we do it over here. Like, get your weight up. Get your reps up. Practice in the mirror. Do something to be like, all right. I don't know what you be saying to yourself. I don't. Yeah, get your weight up, bro. Practice. Because this is the game. You got to practice before you try to come over here. I digress. Thank you, Senior Boble. Welcome to this belt to ass conference. You got dang on right. Don't come over here, man. If you want to talk, then let's talk. If you want to talk basketball, then let's talk basketball. I will talk basketball with you. I will talk about the Rockets' schedule. Don't call them overrated, though, when the best team in the NBA has played the exact same team that the Rockets have played. So are you calling OKC overrated? Stop playing with me, my guy. You know what? You're the second person in the last 2 days that's tried to play with me. And I don't know if it's because I ain't been around for a second because I've been dealing with some things. I don't know if it's because you new to this or you ain't seen me in a minute. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna need. Hold on. I'm trying to look. Okay, Pastor not in here. I'm sorry, Reverend Brooks. Pastor Reverend Brooks not in here. Miss Jordan not in here. Okay. Okay. I think I can get away with this. I may be able to get away with this. How many? Oh, we're 40 minutes into the broadcast. Cool. They can't demonetize me on YouTube. Hey, man. Hey, let me tell you something, my guy. Hey, my New Year's resolution is I don't give a fuck. That's it. IDGAF. Because I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better Christian. I'm trying to be better, right? So I'm just going to say IDGAF. I don't give a at all, period. You can follow me. You can not follow me. You can subscribe. You can not subscribe. I don't care. I'm still going to show up every day that I can and be right here doing this type of things, talking sports and talking life. Because in 2026, some things are going to change as far as this platform and this format is concerned as well. Bro, I don't care. So get your weight up before you come over here trying to talk. And you damn sure ain't finna talk no sports with me. Not hand over heart. I will respect your opinion. Don't get me wrong. I always respectfully respect people's opinions. I just disagree with them. And if we can respectfully disagree, we can have a dialogue. We can have a back and forth. But if we can't respectfully disagree, then I'm cool with that too. But men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. So don't call the Rockets overrated when they play pretty much the same teams that the best team in the NBA has played. But if you ain't been here for a while, then let me recap some of the earlier part of the show to you. The NBA is in a bad place right now. The NBA doesn't have a real product to sell. You can't sell SGA to NBA fans. You can sell SGA to basketball purists. You can't sell Nikola Jokic to basketball fans. You can sell him to basketball purists. SGA, Nikola Jokic are two of the most fundamentally sound basketball players in the NBA. They are top 5 in the NBA. You can sell that to basketball purists. The problem is the basketball purists ain't what pushes the needle. That ain't what pushes the needle. What pushes the needle is excitement, clips, fast-paced, fast-moving games. No matter how bad the Charlotte Hornets are, when LaMelo Ball plays, people watch because he's exciting. When the Minnesota Timberwolves play, people watch because they want to see Anthony Edwards. When Ja Morant is healthy and he's on the court in Memphis, people watch because they want to see Ja Morant play. People watch the Rockets because they want to see KD play. They want to see Alpi play. They want to see Amen play. People watch the Spurs because they want to see Wemby play. People watch the Mavericks because they're watching Cooper Flag and still Anthony Davis. And when Kyrie comes back, they're going to watch for Kyrie. People watch a bad Clippers team because they're watching James Harden. People watch the New York Knicks because they like Jalen Brunson. People ain't watching the Bucks because Giannis, for as great of a basketball player as he is, he's not exciting. Hell, people are watching the Portland Trailblazers because they're exciting. People still watch the Golden State Warriors because of Steph Curry. People are watching the Detroit Pistons because of Cade Cunningham. Like, bro, don't come in here, bro. Don't come in the barracks. Not here. I'm going to tell you right now, in the Army, it's how we used to do. Hey, bro, You new to these barracks, bro. You better learn the rules before you come in here popping off at the mouth, before you find out how it really go down when these lights go out. Have one of the senior enlisted NCOs coming in here talking about, hey, who doing all this screaming as you land on the floor, cringing in pain? You better learn the rules of the barracks before you come in. Learn the rules. Learn what goes on. Come in, get in where you fit in. If you got a basketball opinion, say your basketball opinion. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Say your opinion. If I don't agree with it, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I don't agree with it. Now you see what you done made me do. I gotta take another break. When we come back, we damn sure finna talk about this AFC team, AFC South team that I like, but I don't respect.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
Hey, welcome back to Into Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Hey, so there's a big game this weekend in the AFC between the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Before I get to the Jags, right? I'm not saying that I don't respect what Denver is doing, right? I'm not saying I don't respect what Denver is doing. What I can't understand though is when Broncos fans start talking trash to Texans fans, saying how they beat them. True, they did 18-15. 18-15 on a field goal to end the game. Hey, Bo Nix got out of the pocket. He made something happen. He put his team in position to win. I just don't like when y'all start talking about the Texans suck. And I'm saying to myself, did you not see what CJ was doing to your team before he got hurt? CJ doesn't suffer a concussion in that game. I don't know if the Broncos win. I don't know if the Broncos win if CJ doesn't get hurt. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to take nothing away from you all. I know that you're having one hell of a season. I think you've won 12 games in a row. Your defense is by far, like, you got a very, very good defense. Like, to me, the top five defenses in the NFL is the Texans, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Rams, and Green Bay before Micah Parsons got hurt. So the top five defenses in the NFL to me is Houston, Seattle, the Rams, Houston, Seattle, the Broncos, the Rams, and who did I say was a 15? Houston, Seattle, Broncos, Rams, and the Packers before Michael Parsons got hurt. So I get it. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm a Patrick Surtain fan as well. I like Patrick Surtain. I think that he is by far one of, if not the best. He is top 3 cornerback in the league, and that's me putting him right there. Him and Derek Stingley, like right there together. Him, Derek Stingley, and hey, can somebody in the chat help me out? What's that cornerback's name for the Bears, who had that hell of an interception on against the Browns this past weekend on Jerry Jeudy? Is it Johnson? Ain't his last name Johnson? Oh my God, I can't. I like him too. I like him. But getting back to this matchup between the Broncos and the Jags, and it's interesting because I said this on the Texas Tailgate Talk show on Monday. it just feels as if we're heading right back down the memory lane of 2023. Like it just feels like we're headed right back down memory lane of 2023 when the Texans needed to defeat the Colts to get into the playoffs and they needed the Jags to lose to win the AFC South, and that's exactly what happened. Houston won. Houston defeated the Colts in Week 18 to get into the playoffs, and then with the loss by the Jacksonville Jaguars on the next day to the Tennessee Titans, they won the AFC South. It's going to come down. It feels like it's going to come down right to that exact same thing. And so if Houston can take care of business this week against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Broncos can beat the Jags, then I think that you're looking at the same situation that you had, because if I'm not mistaken, somebody can help me out on this. I'm going to look this up right now. If I'm not mistaken, the hardest game that the Texans have left, if we're looking just at schedule wise, is the Chargers in 2 weeks. And I think that the hardest team that the Jags are playing is the Broncos this week. Yeah, so they got the Broncos, the Colts, and the Titans. That's who the Jags have. And the Texans have the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Colts here. Two things. One, Jacksonville has to prove it to me. Do I think they've been playing some very good football? I do. I'm not taking that away from them. I'm not finna just take a dump on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they are playing some very good football. But in 2023, they were playing some very good football team, and it just didn't work out to the way of how it should have worked out for them. Like, there's no possible way that you think going into that final game in Week 18 that the Houston Texans would be the AFC South champions. If anything, they would get in as a wild card. But they're going to get in. You know, they got in as AFC South champions. And Jacksonville didn't even get in. Now, I got to go in. I got to look at the scenarios. I'm pretty sure that Jacksonville, let me see. I'm pretty sure that Jacksonville still has an opportunity to make it, even if they lose out, but they win the last two games. Let's see what these standings looks like. Let's go to the conference. All right, so currently the Jags are in third place. I think if they lose to the Broncos this week and the Texans win, they're both to have a record of 10-5. I think that the Texans will be in first place in the AFC South, even though they have the tied record because of their I think because of their common opponents. Somebody has to double check that for me. I haven't really gotten into the minutia of that just yet, but I think that the Texans will jump them if they're tied at 10-5. And then if they win out and the Texans win out, then the Texans will be AFC South champions again. But if you look at it, there's still some teams hanging around. I don't see Jacksonville losing their last three games. And so at worst, they could be 12-5. At worst, the Houston would be 12-5. But then the Texans would be hosting a playoff game because they would be AFC South champions. And then it gets a little bit tricky. The only people that are still in contention to make it to the AFC playoffs right under Houston is the Indianapolis Colts, who, if the Texans beat them and the Colts beat them, they won't, of course. And the Baltimore Ravens, who are still one game out of being AFC North, being in the AFC North. So, with that being said, I do not trust the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not trust the Jacksonville Jaguars to win their last three games. Thank you, Jay Blackshear. If both teams finish 12-5, the Texans win the division. Yes, because of their record against common opponents or something to that effect. And so I don't trust the Jags. And I definitely don't trust them against a Broncos team who still needs to win in order to win the division and to, if the Broncos beat the Jags this week, they secure the number 1 seed in the AFC South. I mean, the AFC division, excuse me. They get the bye week. And they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Something that some of these teams don't want to see, especially some of these teams like the Jags, some of these teams like the Texans, who play in, warmer climates but have to play outdoors in December or in January in Denver. I don't know if you've all have been to Denver when it's cold. I've been to Denver when it's cold, and it gets cold. And so let me look at this again. I think they have to win, because if they don't win out, right? God dang it, Sarge. If they don't win out, hey, right there, right underneath them is the New England Patriots. And the New England Patriots have the Ravens, who are playing for something. They got the Jets, and then they have the Patriots. Have they played the? Oh yeah, they split with the Bills. So, as I digress, the Broncos are playing for something. And if you're a Houston Texans fan, I don't want to say you're rooting for the Broncos, but it would be nice to see the Broncos beat the Jags, and if they can handle business against the Raiders. And if I'm gonna put it like this, Texans can't play down to their competition, bruh. The Raiders, and I said this on Monday, the Raiders had 75 yards of total offense against the Eagles. Like a 7 and a 5. Like a 7 and then a 5. 75 total yards of offense for a game. It's gonna leave that right there. Texans should be able to handle their business. They should be able to handle their business against the Raiders as they get prepared to play the Chargers on Saturday, December 27th. If the Broncos take care of their business, secure that number 1 seed in the AFC, win the AFC West, and secure home field advantage. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't just a game that they're going up against playing against Jacksonville with nothing on the line. Like, they still have some things that they're playing for. And if they're still playing for some things, you're saying to yourself, that's a team I feel like wants it more than Jacksonville wants it. And I just, like, Jacksonville has to just prove it, right? I don't want to see J-Mac. Hold on, y'all. J-Mac, this is a good point. I don't want to see what McBride did to our defense happen with Brock Bowers. I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that Brock Bowers is, like, he's going to get his, but I think that they've learned their lesson from playing against Trey McBride, and some of the ways that they're going to be able to scheme up their defense is like, it was nothing but high praises for Trey McBride. Excuse me, after the game and on Monday from the Texans defense. They was like, yo, the guy's good, man. The guy's good. And, they said, if, there should have been some things there were some things that we could have done better. Some of the things that we definitely learned from. DeMeco Ryan said that he did not like the way that the defense played. And especially he didn't like the way that they played against Trey McBride. So, they should be able to. And but the Cardinals have a better quarterback than the Raiders have. Who's the quarterback for the Raiders? Kenny Pickett? I think Kenny Pickett is the quarterback for him, or somebody else. I don't even know his name. Plays for the Raiders. And that defense is that defense has a point to prove. Like, they didn't like the way that they played. They didn't like the fact that they gave up the 225 yards passing for the first time this season. They don't like the fact they gave up 20 points to the Cardinals. And side note, hey, I ain't gonna even lie, like, there's nothing that you can do. Like, when you go back and you look at that touchdown pass on Kamari Lassiter, like, that was just like, you got to tip your hat to Jacoby Brissett. Like you tip your hat to Jacoby Brissett, because that was a well-placed pass That was one hell of a catch by Wilson, right? Number 4 is Wilson. That was a hell of a catch. Like Kamari had great defense on him. You just got sometimes you got to tip your hat to the people who make the plays. And so they gave up 20 points. They're going to be back. But like I said, I don't, y'all. I don't trust the Jags. And Houston is one of the hottest teams. Denver is the hottest team. I don't. Oh my God, that's going to be an epic collapse if the Jags are in that same position again and they lose. They lose the AFC South, especially after the Texans started 0-3 on the season. And at one point was what? They were under 500 for a minute. And if they come back and if they run the table on this 9-game winning streak, if they go on a 9-game winning streak and end the season at 12-5, which some people had it predicted to be as well. Some people had it predicted to be 12-5, but if they're able to run that table, get to 12-5, head into the playoffs hot, and on the Texans Cookout, we had an opportunity to talk about the grade we're giving CJ. We talked about Nick Caley's offense. Like I said, you got to go watch the Texans Cookout and see that show. But I don't trust the Jags. All right, y'all, I got to get ready to get up out of here. I got some things that I got to do before I get myself together to head down to on Wednesday. I'm headed to New Orleans. I got to run some errands and get some things taken care of in my house. I still got to go to the gym. Oh, that's an old man stretch right there, y'all. Oh, that's an old man stretch. That one of the stretch to be like, hey, take your breath away. I got to get ready to get up out of here. But before I go, I got one more thing that I need to say, right? Let me make sure that I timestamp this. 1, 2, 17. Okay, so I got to give a special shout out to someone before I get off this show. So my cousin cuts my hair, right? And in the barbershop, there's another barber in there named Lou. And I don't know if you all remember or not, but Lou is the one that made that this is his logo, and this is one of the towels that he gave me, right? This is Lou's logo, and this is a towel that he gave me. He got some merch coming out with this on it, but this is right. Lou has been following me since I first started going to that barbershop. Lou has been following me when I was on that former show that I was on. When I was on that former show, Lou used to support that show a lot when I was on. He was supporting it before I got on it. And he was supporting it before I got on it, and then he started to support it more when I got on the show. And then when I left the show, he left the show, and he follows me here. But the only way Lou even knew about me, the only way Lou knew who I was when I walked into the barbershop was because of his son Fabian, right? Because of his son Fabian. And I was trying to coordinate it to be able to see Fabian on Sunday after the Cardinals game, but we were just on two opposite sides of the stadium, and I had to get into the locker room real quick in order to do my job. So I didn't get an opportunity to see Fabian, right? So Fabian, my guy, let me give you a big sorry salute, because I know the only way that your daddy know about me is because of you. I heard you when you said, hey man, I'm one of your biggest fans, and I don't call people who support me fans, I call them supporters. So you're not one of my biggest fans, you're one of my biggest supporters, man. Ain't no such thing as a fan when it comes to Big Sarge and Big Sarge Media. Ain't no fans over here. Everybody who supports me are supporters. Ain't no fans, ain't no fanatics. You are one of my biggest supporters, man, and I appreciate that. And I love talking crap with your daddy as far as sports and stuff is concerned when I'm in the barbershop. And if it wasn't because of you, Fabian, your dad would not know anything about me. So I appreciate you, man. I got some things coming your way. I got some special things coming your way, man, because even though I didn't get a chance to see you, it was good to talk to you on the phone after the game. So this is my big Sarge salute to Fabian, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. TikTok family, I love y'all, man. I'll be back for the Texans happy hour this evening. Hold on. Okay. That was cool. Family. Man, I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me, and I appreciate everything that you did for me. Hold on, let me Senior Boble say big shout out to Fabian. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. I got to get up out of here because I really got some things that I need to do. You've been tuning in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to my YouTube channels, Texans Tailgate Talk and Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.